We want to, we've tried to negotiate with the business owners of the horse and carriage to negotiate a safer place for their business.
The decision to move the horse carriages to Byron Street was not one made in cooperation with the horse carriages. One day we were just told that's where we would be. We were told it was temporary, but then it wasn't. And now, after seeing that it doesn't work and the protesters just want attention and go to Main Street, she's made the decision that we can come back. But to be clear, this was not a decision made in cooperation with the carriage company.
And no agreement can be reached. They are determined, bound and determined, to be at the corner of King and Queen.
We should put a fire truck on the corner of King and Queen.
The counter-protesters are still uncontrollable.
Here they come with their drums and all.
Basically, what that says is, you can be loud, you can be ignorant, you can be rude, you can be abrasive. It's not against the law to do that. And it's not against the law to do that as part of a protest. A peaceful protest is considered anything short of violence.
Under the Municipal Act to ask someone to identify for a municipal bylaw infraction.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Sheldon Randall, CAO of Niagara-on-the-Lake, saying that bylaws are not enforceable.
So they are there to ensure that the protesters and the counter-protesters don't get into fistfights. And they're not interested in who's using a megaphone, who's yelling, how many of them are on the sidewalk because they're not blocking traffic.
This simple issue can be solved with simply enforcing our laws. Now, as head of state of Niagara-on-the-Lake, you are responsible for enforcing our laws. Then that, of course, is what we pay the Niagara Regional Police for.
And the big losers in all of this, you've got to unmute, but the big losers in all of this really are the store owners.
Clearly, the protesters believe otherwise.
And we've been working behind the scenes. We've been also, trying to find out what other municipalities are doing, like the protests that they've been having in Burlington from both sides, protesters and counter-protesters. And some of the counter-protesters have been, and they do nothing. They do nothing in terms of Burlington and their enforcement of what's going on. They've left it to the police and the protesters and the owners of the business. I saw one tape with a police officer saying he supports the protesters. I also have a police officer on tape saying that a council member told him that they wanted to pull the license of the horse and carriage, which doesn't help at all.
But let's not block.
Do you agree that we should ban the horse-drawn carriages?
I think that's probably what's best, yeah, but
right.
I don't
for
have
everyone
any
involved, right?
that.
Like the horse drive up there and try to.
We just talked to one of the city councilmen for the Niagara-on-the-Lake.
That's what I meant. Yes.
He seems to be almost leaning that way too. Is the only way